Well, buckle up, Buttercup. It's time to rise and shine, travelers. That's right. It's June the 1st, and it's time for the According to Willie B podcast straight from the Holly Caffeinated Studios. I will be your tour guide for the next half hour. You don't need a passport, you don't need a plane ticket. You just got to tune in and listen. So, today's trip or today's tour that I'm going to take you on is to San Antonio, Texas. Now you're like, here we go back to Texas. Well, let me tell you, don't roll your eyebrows at me just yet, because San Antonio is definitely a summer destination. And if you've never been to San Antonio, you're going to want to listen to this podcast because I'm hoping to impart some kind of wisdom to you that you could take you and your family to a great trip to San Antonio. It is definitely worth the airfare or the car ride, whichever may be. I do have one thing that I would like to get off my chest. And because we're now cracked over the 1,000 listener per episode threshold, if you will, I have something on my chest that I would like to get an opinion on. And trust me, y'all definitely have my email address and you'll definitely blow it up over this. So I am off my regular job every other weekend, and I will usually cook breakfast. It's just what I like to do. And so I'll cook breakfast, and my wife will never eat more than two pieces of bacon. So I usually set her up for success, and I will add a third piece of bacon. What I have termed and what I like to call gratitude bacon. That's right, gratitude bacon. It sets her up for success to show gratitude by giving me an extra piece of bacon, but it doesn't come out of her original portion of bacon because it's an extra piece. It's gratitude bacon. And this particular Saturday, yes, this Saturday, I put the extra piece of bacon on her plate and she ate it. She ate the gratitude bacon. And y'all know how I feel about bacon. Bacon is life. Bacon is love. I just don't know how to feel about having that piece of gratitude bacon just literally just consumed in front of me and with no recourse and no remorse. I just don't know. Now, I've already brought this up to several people that I know, and they're like, well, possession is 9/10 of the law, so you put it on her plate, it was technically hers. But I'm like, but it's gratitude bacon. And nobody seems to understand. So hopefully some of my listeners, will understand and maybe send me some kind of, I don't know, some kind of therapy help that helped me get over this, losing this piece of gratitude bacon. All right, that's enough of that. Let's move on into our San Antonio trip. And of course, we can't mention San Antonio without stopping at the Riverwalk. Now, the Riverwalk is one of the coolest things I have ever seen a city incorporate into their tourism package. The Riverwalk is just this winding river amongst this entertainment and food complex mecca. There's more restaurants, more bars, more shopping, more entertainment. I just it would probably take a 2 hour podcast just to walk you through what all is on the Riverwalk. And then, of course, there's the little boat ride that you can take. And I've taken that several times, even though I've been down there more times than I care to count. I still like to take that boat ride. It's just a unique experience. But, the Riverwalk, and it's a different vibe in the day versus night. Now, in the summertime, it can get crowded. So if you got little ones, make sure you hang on to them because it can get crowded because the sidewalk is only so wide. And it has gained in popularity, I think, every single year. Every time I go down there, it seems to be more and more crowded. But it's nevertheless, regardless of how crowded it is, it's still a great time. And there's some really good restaurants on the Riverwalk. So you can't go downtown and do the Riverwalk without checking out the Alamo. I mean, the Alamo there's a few hours right there in itself just check out the Alamo, and the museum is got some of the coolest artifacts you've ever seen. It's just there's just so much on display. And of course, you've got the SeaWorld with their water park and their coasters. And of course, if you like coasters, well, then you've got Six Flags and Fiesta Texas there. One word that I will tell you about Fiesta Texas, it was built into a rock quarry. Thereby, you don't get much of a breeze, which you don't get much of a breeze anyway in the summer of Texas, but you're not going to get hardly any breeze at all in that theme park because it's built into a rock quarry. But it does give it a very unique enhancement, in my opinion. I think it's one of the coolest theme parks that I've ever been to because it's built into that rock quarry. And they've got some of the neatest coasters that you'll ever ride as well. But back on downtown, so you've got the Riverwalk, you got Alamo, but you've also got this historic market square, also affectionately known as the Mercado. And they've got inside market, they got outside market, and sometimes if you're there like on a holiday weekend, I mean, there's even more street vendors and stuff down there, and it's just you'll spend a whole day down there. I promise you will get lost in looking at all that kind of stuff. Any kind of metal art, any kind of piñata. You want a sombrero, you want a pair of boots. It doesn't matter. I mean, anything your heart desires is down there in that shopping area downtown in that historic market square. Downtown, you've also got the Tower of the Americas, which is a 750-foot tower that offers 360-degree views of the city and surrounding area. Now, some of you are going to say, well, hey, isn't there a restaurant up there? Yes, there is. Do you recommend it? Let me just say it this way, because I don't like to badmouth anybody. I don't care if it's a chain or what. I don't like to badmouth anything or anybody. But I will tell you that there are some really good restaurants 750 foot below that restaurant. So there you have it. You read between the lines. And there's 750 feet between the lines, so you got plenty of reading to do. But it is a neat experience to go up there and look around the city in that big tower. There is a Buckhorn Saloon, but they also have a Texas Ranger Museum, and I absolutely love that museum. There's some really cool artifacts. They used to have, the last time I was down there, they had a old Colt pistol on display, and it was like a group of them. It was I believe it was like a numbered set, if I remember correctly, and I believe it was the first 5 to 10 pistols that were made by Colt. Absolutely outstanding display. I think they bring it certain times a year, so you have to check the website to see when they have that. But it's just absolutely cool. Because you can see throughout the years the different manufacturing tweaks that they've made on them. Downtown, there's also the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum. Now, the reason I bring this one up is because, well, you remember I brought it up during the Florida episode, and I believe there's one in Gatlinburg as well. I'm not a big fan of that one. The Florida one's pretty cool. But to me, the one in San Antonio, I really like that one. That one's my favorite out of all of them. And I mean, they have a lot of the same stuff, but for some reason, I like the one in San Antonio better. But it's absolutely cool. You got to check it out. And you can't go downtown, and you can't go to San Antonio, which is just off of downtown. You have the Breckenridge Park. And it's not just a park. There's a zoo, and it's massive. It's spread out. You will walk forever. Kind of think about walking Vegas when you go to the San Antonio Zoo, but it's really cool. It's really immersive. There's a golf course. There's a Japanese tea garden. There's a carousel. I mean, there's more than just that zoo in that Breckenridge Park. But most people, when you say Breckenridge Park, they figure you're going to the zoo. So if you've got kids, man, there is plenty to do with the kids over the weekend. You could easily spend way more than a weekend in San Antonio and still not see everything. But I'm giving you if you've never been to San Antonio, I'm giving you the must do's. So all the lists that I gave you, that is the must do in a weekend. Now, you might not be able to get to all of that in a weekend, especially if you got a family, because it takes time to motor around a big group of people, that many different sights and sounds. If you are looking for any kind of pair of boots or Western wear, anything to dress you up as a cowboy because you're in Texas, well, yeehaw, they got it. But there's also, and I don't think anybody of my listeners can wear these, but it's the largest pair of boots, I believe, in the U.S. It may be changed by now, but they're 35 feet tall and 33 feet long. So I'm not sure what size that equates to, but I doubt they're wearable. But they are good for a photo op if you haven't been in front of them yet. And I have driven by them multiple times, but I never just took the time to go, hey, I'm going to take a picture in front of these. And, now that I don't live in Texas anymore, I'm like, that was a kind of a bummer. But maybe I'll make a trip back down there again and check it out. So I'm going to talk to you about shopping, and then we're going to get to the food. So if you're looking to go shopping in San Antonio, I promise you, you will not be disappointed, because besides the Mercado, the historic market square, you have also got the shops at La Cantera. Now, that is the most insanely large shopping area I've ever seen, and some really cool stores. And there is some high-end stuff there at La Cantera, but it is a really cool half a day thing to do with family, because you can get them out walking around. It's an outdoor mall, and it's just got a really cool vibe to it. You've also got the Alamo Quarry shops, and there's some really good restaurants in that area as well. That's what I'd tell you. You would have to stay in San Antonio for a year to get through all the good food that's in San Antonio. San Antonio is an absolute must if you are a foodie, if you like to eat. If you've ever eaten a meal in your life, you're going to enjoy eating in San Antonio. And, my favorites, my absolute favorites that you have to try when you're in San Antonio, there's one, it's downtown, and it's called Mi Tierra. It's Mitierra. And that is my absolute go-to for breakfast and lunch. And the tortillas that they have, oh man, those things are epic, man. I'm telling you, those tortillas at Mi Tierra, they are absolutely phenomenal. Makes my mouth water just thinking about them. There's also, if you're on the Riverwalk and want a good place to eat food, there's Rita's on the River, Ritas, Rita's on the River. It's been there forever, and their food and their service is absolutely phenomenal. Their steak fajitas, man, I'm telling you what, they are just so good. And you can eat right there on the patio and look out over the river, and people watch while you're eating those fajitas. I'm telling you, man, it's making me hungry just doing this episode. Now, one of the things that San Antonio has always been known for when it comes to food is tamales. That's right. Now, you can have your favorite tamales if you want. I've never met a tamale that I didn't like. Trust me, I have not. But there's a place down there called Delia's Tamales. Just Google it, you'll find it. Those tamales, I'm telling you, you better get a dozen just for yourself. Here's the thing. There's no gratitude tamales, okay? Those tamales come in a dozen, and yeah, they're all mine. or you get your own dozen. But they are absolutely phenomenal. They're the best tamales I've ever had in my life. And I've had a lot of tamales, but and some homemade ones that are really good. But Delia's, oh, something about what they do, those are fantastic. Now I know you're sitting there thinking, well, Will, you're only telling me about Mexican food places in San Antonio. I know, and I'm going to apologize for that. Not really. That is what you go to San Antonio for. You go to San Antonio because they are the capital of Mexican food and they have some of the absolute hands down best. And here's another one for you called La Fonda. Lafonda. La Fonda, I like their lunch and I love their dinner. I'm telling you, that is just some of the most, and it's a lot of Tex-Mex. Don't get me wrong, and I do prefer traditional Mexican food as well. But if it's really, really good Tex-Mex, I absolutely love it. And La Fonda and Mi Tierra are two of the absolute hands down best Mexican food in San Antonio. Possibly the world. I don't know, but they are really good. I would drive there just for them. Now, because I said that they do have other food, there are some steakhouses there, but you know me, I don't like to mention chains. I like to just talk about the independent individual, because I was struggling between saying individually owned and independent, so it came out as so I apologize for that. Hey, you know that I have the linguistic butcher shop, and every now and then I have to open it up and chop up some words. So barbecue, there is multiple places in the city to get barbecue. Now there's some okay places, there's some really good places, and there's some outstanding places. And I'm going to give you three of my favorite in San Antonio. And in no particular order is Pinkertons, Pinkertons, Pinkertons Barbecue. They are really good. I love their brisket. I love the bark on their brisket. Just really good. I'm going to be starving by the time I finish this episode. And then you got the Reese Brothers. That's right, just like the peanut butter cup. The Reese Brothers, they do a phenomenal job on their brisket, but they also do, I don't know what they do to that chicken, but man, it's not your it's not your fried bucket of chicken. This is some serious smoked chicken, man. It is not all dried out. It's just some good stuff. And then you got B&B Smokehouse, and can't forget about those guys over there. Yeah, again, just my top three go-tos in San Antonio. Now, I could drive you around the area and go throughout some other towns like Luling and what have you and tell you about some more barbecue places. But in San Antonio, those are my three go-tos, is the Pinkertons, the Reese Brothers, and the B&B Smokehouse. But I'm telling you, you will find no shortage of great food in San Antonio. You won't find a shortage of entertainment and or things to do. You can easily arrive on a Friday and leave on a Sunday, and you will not even have scratched the surface of what's available to see and do in San Antonio. It's why it's always been one of my absolute favorite places to go in Texas, because you can literally go and have a different experience every time you go. Even if you go to the Riverwalk every time, it's going to be different every single time you go. But San Antonio is an absolute gem of a city to go for tourism in Texas. I kid you not. That pretty much wraps up this episode. Like I said, I didn't want to dive in too long, because this, just doing San Antonio by itself, I could do another episode and not talk about any of the stuff I told you. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you that tune in to listen to this program. And I will be back right here next week at the same time. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for listening and have a great day. Of course, I'm going to tell you, don't forget to caffeinate and conquer. That's very important. Have a great day. Bye-bye.